Hello, my lads, what is up? On the previous episode, we actually got fucked over pretty hard, since an RNG event in Persia dragged me into a war with the United Kingdom, plus on the European front, the game misled me into thinking that Germany was going to help me against my war against Austria and France, but they couldn't actually join me, which now means that I am at war with three European superpowers at the same time, including a naval superpower, and it's just me on my own. And the English AI was actually quite proactive this time. They have gotten my Nigerian colonies, which has significantly damaged my luxury furniture industry. In fact, I am pretty much producing nothing compared to what I used to produce, which has hurt my economy. And yeah, on this episode, we will be able to hopefully turn things around and restore the Italian territory that is currently held by the Austrians. And if things end up going smooth for me, I will even consider taking Corsica from the French. And as for the English, I do not think that continuing this war with them is going to be to my interests. In fact, I don't believe at all that Persia is worth the damage that my industry is currently sustaining. However, I will still seek battle with them to see if I will be able to hopefully cause some more casualties to them. Specifically, they have 50,000 men in Persia and another 50,000 men in northern Italy. I will see if I will be able to do anything about them, and if I am not able, then I will simply peace out and let them have Persia. And with the French front being rather stable for me for the time being, I will send a couple of armies back to the Austrian fort. Despite my crushing defeat at Udine, which completely negated my gains against the Austrians, we kind of managed to recover, plus we are winning a battle against the Austrians here on Verona. Another Italian army that is currently coming from Turin is going to stag wipe the Austrians on Parma, and then all of my armies are going to rest for a bit, replenish, and crush the Austrians on Ferrara. The English army, while quite menacing, appears to only have 6,000 artillery. Plus, instead of maintaining their momentum and invading my territory before giving me any respite, they are actually retreating to Venice, which is a quite welcome decision, which will allow me to recover and give me much needed time to turn things around. So, with my fleet finally arriving on the Austrian coasts, I now have even more intel on their army movements, plus I have their main fleet pinned down. And from the looks of things, the English are continuing their retreat all the way to Udine for some reason, and I am not quite sure why, since I don't really think that there is anything for the English up there. Plus, I am the only country that they are at war with. The French want to give battle at Lyon, but they only have mobilized infantry, so it shouldn't be too hard for me to beat them up. We got to defeat the French pretty decisively. Really, if they don't have artillery, they are not much of a threat to me. And without the aid of the English, who are only just now are coming back, the Austrian front pretty much disintegrated. The British are hurrying reinforcements back to the Second Battle of Udine. However, this time my army is in a little bit of a better shape, plus I have an actually decent general so I think that this time it's going to be a win for us. And I am also engaging the Austrians at Ferrara, so they can be driven back from my territory and I can finally safely go on the offensive. In the meantime, the French are sending quite some reinforcements. They have over 100,000 men here, but as you can guess, they are all conscripts. So even though superficially things were looking good for me on Udine, the English got like 4-9 rolls in a row where I got really shit rolls, so I have no option but to retreat to avoid even more damage. We ended up getting pretty comparable casualties, but that shouldn't have been the case. With so little artillery on their army, we should have crushed them. On the bright side, however, we did destroy the Austrians at Ferrara, and we are going to stag wipe them before they have any chance to recover. Oh, but the English are actually being cheeky, and they are attacking my army that just retreated from Udine. They are probably hoping to stag wipe it. So, since the Austrians are completely exhausted here, I will divide my army between a weak infantry force to hunt the Austrians down, and the rest are going to help my army out in Venice. And who would have guessed, as they attack me, once again they get a good roll and I get a shit roll. Honestly, so annoying. But with my reinforcements arriving in a few days, it should be okay. And finally, for a change, we finally managed to defeat the English expeditionary force, 25,000 casualties for them, and I am definitely not going to give them any chance to recover. I am going to utterly stag wipe them. Meanwhile, on the French front, the concentration of French mobilized recruits is increasing. And it's actually kind of overwhelming, to be honest, especially since I sent so many reinforcements to the Austrian front. So I will have to pay them a little bit of extra attention, since after all, I can easily get overwhelmed by numbers, especially at this early stage of the game. And there I was thinking, why am I getting 6,000 casualties with my 25,000 artillery army against a purely conscripted French army? Well, this is why. 0 roll, 9 roll. I swear to God, this is not truly random. This can't be truly random. It is always at the expense of the player. And it utterly screws up my plans too. Because, my planning and my strategy is revolving, around having strong armies and not being reckless. It does not revolve around me constantly rolling zeros and the enemy constantly rolling nines. But anyways, we will kind of have to retreat from here. They still ended up getting more casualties, but honestly, that battle was to our detriment. I wasn't supposed to ever lose this, but I did because of rolls. On Persia, it looks like the Anglos finally decided to give us battle here on Tehran, and they do have a rather strong force here. Not only they outnumber me, but they also have plenty of artillery. But with a river bonus and a hill bonus and a good general, I believe that I do actually stand a chance. So yeah, let's see. And with the Battle of Padua, finally the expeditionary force of the British in Europe is destroyed. Who would have guessed? And the Battle of Tehran started, and this time we actually got reasonable rolls, and I am being attacked by the English general Francis Cockburn. So at this point I am on a huge predicament actually, since hundreds of thousands of French conscripts are swarming to my territory, And at this point I am really short on manpower. I will require several months for my brigades to be replenished. Plus the Austrians brought some extra unexpected armies that I wasn't anticipating. So yeah, I am kind of thinking about what am I going to do about this stranded army right now. Do I send them to attack Paris and hopefully create a distraction from the French? Or do I send them to attack Vienna and help me build up some war score? Or do I simply abandon both plans and simply try to bring them through the mountains to help me on the home front? It's really a hard decision. And we finally won the Battle of Tehran. It did generate me 7 war score, but I still don't expect the Anglos to surrender over it. Yeah, naturally they won't accept, even though I am at plus 45 war score. So I simply think that I will go for a white peace with them, since honestly this isn't really getting anywhere. And with this army free, I will now walk them all the way from Russia through Austria-Hungary. And instead of waiting for months for those troops to become useful, I might as well leverage my navy and ship them back to Europe. And it looks like me sending my navy to the Black Sea to evacuate my army has increased the confidence of the Austrians, and they immediately try to break the blockade, so I will have to send them back, unfortunately. Russia fell down to secondary power status and they don't want an alliance with me. However, it will be 1 year until their truce with Austria will expire, so I will not be able to invite them immediately. And with the French completely swarming the region of Piedmont, I have 30,000 infantry led by a +3 defense general who are on the mountains of Aosta with a river province protecting them, and they also have a fort, plus the French armies that are attacking are purely infantry, so depending on my luck, this might end up being a massacre to the French. I rolled a 0, but they also rolled a 2, so let's see, maybe something good will come out of this. On the meantime, I am also occupying Paris, but they do not seem to be too distracted by it. So yeah, once again they rolled a good roll and I rolled a shit roll, so I am not very confident about it. And my army in Paris was finally engaged by a +5 attack general, Leroy Bonaparte. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. And look at this. 0-8. Holy shit. That's disgusting. We did, however, win the Battle of the Gulf of Venice. So now I should be able to evacuate my troops. So I ended up winning the Battle of Aosta. 6,000 casualties for me, 25,000 casualties for my enemies. However, I had so many positive variables to my side that even this feels like a defeat. Things should have gone much better for me. This only happened because of those shit rolls that I got. But nonetheless, it is a much welcome victory in a war that otherwise it looks like it's going to be hopeless for me. So since the French ended up having quite a dominant presence here, I will try to go for Vienna instead. Where did everything go so wrong? I suppose that the part where things started to get really fucked up was when I underestimated the importance of the French front and I sent swathes of reinforcements to the Austrian front, and the reason why I did that was because I was pretty much being obstinate, and I wanted to defeat the English in vain hopes of building up enough war score to hopefully be able to get Persia and beat them. But yeah, the French with their mobilized stacks ended up being the reason why I am probably going to lose this war. And the worst part was really that battle on Lyon, where I kept rolling zero rolls and they kept rolling 9 rolls. That was really fucked up. But yeah, this is the power of mobilization. We finally lost the Battle of Aosta, we got stack wiped, and let me see if I can... I can't, holy shit, I don't have enough transports. They will be stack wiped. That's fucked up. I wish I could divide armies during battles. Yeah, I don't have enough transports. They will be stack wiped. Once again. What is this? Why does this keep happening? It keeps happening again and again and again. Finally. We did finally lose here, but we didn't get stack wiped. So if I somehow manage to get this army to escape, I just might be able to continue this war by defending here on the mountains of central Italy, and this will buy me enough time for the Russian truce with the Austrians to expire. This is the only realistic way for me not to be destroyed right now. They have a +5 attack general, holy shit. So, finally the Austrians expanded their war goal by wanting to humiliate me, which finally allows me to surrender. However, I am fucked anyways. I think that the smartest thing right now would be to just take it before fucking France adds a war goal to take territory from me or something. And yeah, I think that's this is what I'm going to do. The Russians will not be able to be called into the war until July anyways, which is 2 months from now. And in those 2 months, I really don't expect any miracles at this point. Plus, even if I do call Russia into the war, there is no guarantee that they are going to be of any use, judging from the fact that they got also defeated by Austria. So yeah, let me just accept this humiliation, as if I wasn't humiliated enough so far. Alright, not bad. And I also get to pass a healthcare reform, so I guess it was worth it. But yeah, holy shit, what a disaster that this was. It all started with France too. I really underestimated the damage that they had the potential to cause me. But yeah, now for the next few years we will have to recover from this fucking disaster. Oh, but as some consolation, we discovered the source of the Nile. Lake Rome it is. I also have fucking 4 full stack armies stuck in Germany, so I will have to make the travel back and from Germany and to Germany 4 fucking times. I really need to build another fleet. As a result of this defeat, I am losing quite some pups from emigration, so I think that it might be a good idea for me to close the borders. And yeah, now emigration has completely died down. And holy shit, I have 9 militancy. With the most massive movement right now being anarcho-liberals. That should be interesting. Oh, and that's lucky. We also got to discover Tutankhamun's tomb. Not bad. At least with all that militancy, I will be able to pass more than a few reforms. So it's not the end of the world, I guess. So I just managed to get Tuscany out of the Austrian sphere of influence, and hopefully I will be able to annex them via unification peacefully and make up for the massive defeat that I just suffered. Oh, and the Congress fired a little bit earlier, I believe. Oh, and it looks like I can offer the Turks to give them support on the Congress in exchange for Cyprus, and I think that I am going to go for it. Wait, does that mean that I will have to help them in a future war? Let's see. What now? Oh, okay. Oh, wait. So apparently Congress Poland is in the German sphere of influence and the Russians attacked it. Just like that. Yeah, there is no way in hell I am helping them. So I got the colonial disease event and I either lose 5% of my population or 20% of my population. And since for whatever reason Tuscany doesn't seem to be petitioning for annexation, I suppose that I must do it manually via war. And there we go. So with this, I think that this is going to be the spot where I will be ending this episode. My truce with both Austria and France just ended a few months ago. Therefore, and since Germany also doesn't have a truce with either of them, I will be able to start a war with them whenever I want. And Germany will indeed accept, hopefully this time for real. And yeah, even though on this episode we didn't do as great as I'd wanted things to be, it wasn't that bad either. We have mostly recovered from the damage that we sustained. Our armies are once again replenished and up, even stronger than they used to. Italy is now completely unified, with me managing to get even Tuscany. Plus we got Cyprus for free. So yeah, on the next episode we will likely be continuing the war that we lost and get our revenge against France and Austria with the help of Germany. And once we're done with that and we get our cores back, then we can look on potential colonies all over the world. Specifically, right now I am thinking about Tunis and stealing it away from France. The Ottomans are also a potential target, especially since they are friends with France. Ideally, I would like to get a state like Albania or Jerusalem. And once Suez is built, I will also have to consider about expanding through the Red Sea. Anyways lads, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope that you will be looking forward for the next one. Goodbye lads.